How are you?
I'm great, Channing. How are you?
I'm very,
I should
very
say,
well.
how's it? That's what we say in South
How is it?
Africa. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really, 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 really good.
Do you have any idea who I am? Some rich guy calls you on the phone. I wanted to speak with you about what you hope to achieve. What do you hope to achieve, Mark?
I want to be the best in the world.
Good.
Steve, I was lucky enough to see this film make its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. There's just been so much buzz growing around it. Have you been surprised by the reaction that people have had to you specifically in this role?
I didn't really think too much about it. I was hoping people responded to the movie itself. I wasn't thinking so much about my individual part of it, but happy that it is resonating with people.
Much has been made about the physical transformation, but when you take that prosthetic nose off, how much harder is it to leave it behind the character of John DuPont emotionally?
The physicality is one aspect of who the guy was. He had a very specific look to him, very peculiar. But beyond that, I think he was a really sad person. I think he was a very tragic figure. That's really what I thought most about in terms of this guy.
Was there a moment for you when you realized that you had him, where you got the character down of who he was?
No, I mean, there was no sort of aha moment. There was no specific crystallization. We got to explore and figure out how these people spoke to one another and how their minds worked. It wasn't just learning lines and then saying those lines. It was getting in the mindset and improvising. And I think those were the moments that I think helped inform who all these characters were.
Channing is such a likable guy. I mean, how did you work on developing that relationship?
We kind of stayed clear of one another when we were shooting. But it's nothing that we discussed. It's nothing that we planned on. Bennett actually said when he was editing the movie that we'd be doing a scene, and at the end of the scene, we'd both turn away from one another. And there was very little interaction when we weren't engaged in a scene. And I got to know him later on once we started doing press at Cannes, and he's great.
Coach is a father. Coach is a mentor. Coach has great power on an athlete's life.
I know you were offered this role years ago. Do you think there's something to be said for timing? Could you have made this back then, 7, 8 years ago, or do you think the timing's was right now?
I mean, I kind of am a little bit of a weirdo spiritualist in a way that I think things happen when they're supposed to, I guess. But it's not like I said no, by the way, to this movie and then it, didn't happen or something. It was the fact that this was a hard movie to get financed. This isn't a shoe-in. And then it found its way back to me, and I got another shot at the apple, and it another bite at it, and it just made more sense to me. Do I think that Bennett could have got me there? He's a fantastic director. I mean, a brilliant, masterful director. I mean, I do think that he would have been able to do whatever he needed to do. But would I have really known how to approach it in the same way? Probably not. I leaned on Bennett 100%, and I probably would have had to done it 150%.
You come at a movie now from both sides. You've had success in front of the camera, but you've also had success behind it as a producer, Magic Mike.
Yeah, writing, yeah.
When did you know you wanted more out of movies?
I don't know. I think, what was it on? I think it was on Dear John that I, for the first time, got to be involved in finding a writer for the book, and then just being involved in who's out there as directors that could be right for it, and so it helped me really dive into the material and have a real perspective on it before it became what it was going to become in the movie sense. It just was a piece of writing, and then you just get to talk about it a lot. You get to have a more of I guess a commitment in it. You're more committed to the genesis in a way, and I just really enjoyed that part. You get to create, even in the beginning.
Well, I mean, you've gone from you had a press pause rewind, let's watch that again moment on a Ricky Martin music video to being one of the top A-list stars in Hollywood. What do you attribute your success to?
Explanation, a press pause moment.
Rewind over and over.
Then pause, because it's only a frame in there. But I don't know, actually. I mean, other than just I found it fascinating. I was something that I loved, and I don't know how it all happens, because I know a lot of people that want it, that it doesn't happen for. Some of my friends, they're what I could say they're probably better actors than I am, and they have a hard time, getting work, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I'm just thankful for, the opportunities that I have been given, I guess.
Well, you've made a movie like this now, something that people haven't expected from you. Has it given you kind of courage to do something else, to tackle something else now?
Man, every movie that I do, it's you have to summon some amount of courage for it, because you don't want to just do something that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go, yeah, I could do that. I'll do that movie. You go, God, hopefully you go, God, I don't know if I can. It's a movie I think I could do. You don't want to just do it because you can do it. You want to know that it's right above that comfort zone of knowing what you could do, and so I don't know. Sometimes you don't hit the mark.